Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Money Making Mondays. Y'all know how we do it back again this Monday. So I always kind of wait a few minutes to let some of the latecomers join us. I know how it is on Mondays. I appreciate you joining me again, baby. What's up? So I posted earlier that the topic that I'm going to be speaking on today is how to turn failures into successes. I'm pretty sure that it's something that we all can relate to, something that we've all experienced. But before we get started, before I jump into that, I want to let you guys know I have an event this week that I'm super, super excited about. I've been posting about it probably for like the past couple of weeks. My website release event. It's a web carpet website release event, so a good excuse to dress up. Come out, have a good time, view my new website. I've got Charbates from the Charbates show. She's going to be, moderating the red carpet for me, holding that down. And then I've got young entrepreneurs. They're going to be doing a live interview with me. And of course, after that, it's just going to turn into a regular party and we're going to have a lot of fun. So it's going to be a major networking event. I've got a lot of entrepreneurs coming out, especially a lot of female entrepreneurs coming out. So fellas, come out. These are the best ladies to network with and try to talk to. And to the other females, that either want to be entrepreneurs or are in the entrepreneurial industry. It'll definitely be a really good event to come out, network, meet some people, hear a lot about myself, my background, how it is that I got to where I am, and some of the adversity that I've overcome to get here. So once again, y'all, that's this Wednesday at 9 p.m. We're going to be at Escobar, red carpet event. Come dressed to impress. You already know how I'm going to do it. But anyway, so I want to jump right into the topic for tonight. Our Money Making Mondays topic for tonight. Man, I'm so excited. I'm seeing like some of the same people that's joining me every other Monday. So that makes me really, really excited. I see my homegirl Mika checking in all the way from Texas. Man, I appreciate you. So anyway, how to turn failures into successes. Like I said, this is something that we can all relate to. Most of the time when you try something for the very first time, you end up failing. So the thing about it is, how do we turn it into a success? It's really, I like to use the 3 R's when I talk about turning failures into successes. The 3 R's are reframing, revising, and refocusing. And I'm going to go a little bit in depth into exactly how it is you do those things. All right. So the first thing is that, not to view your mistakes as problems. In every mistake, there's a potential for growth. So if you take the opportunity to learn from it, then it's something that can actually help you. Trial and error is essentially one of the most effective ways to learn and to grow from a mistake. A lot of times, when we're successful, of course it feels good, but we don't really learn as much from it. We don't, we kind of celebrate that success, but we don't really take the time to tear that situation apart and really analyze it and see what it was that we did that made us successful. But with our failures, those are such a great opportunity to look at those mistakes, see what it is that we done wrong and what it is we can do to turn that around, for the next time. The second thing, guys, you have to be very careful how you talk to yourself. Because yourself is always listening. We have all found ourselves in a rut before. I remember right after my very first club, the G Spot, was shut down. I had that spot shut down. Another little thing that I had going on was shut down. And it just got to the point that I was just like in a rut. It was like, what am I going to do next? I'm coming off of a failure, a club that's only been open for 3 months. It got shut down. Something else that I had publicly going on was a failure. And it just got to the point that, that I found myself in a rut and I was kind of talking to myself negatively. And of course, yourself is listening. So every day I found myself waking up, not really wanting to do anything, not being motivated. And that caused me to stay in that rut, even longer. So we have to be very, very mindful of how we talk to ourselves. That's really, really important because self-talk can be very, very damaging, especially after a failure. A lot of people never reach success because essentially what they end up doing is they talk themselves out of trying again. And of course, you have to continue to try in order to get to the point that you are successful. So it's very, very important that you maintain that confidence no matter what happens. Okay. The next thing, take a break. Simple as that may sound, but taking breaks are very, very important. Burnouts are real. Anything that you're doing consistently or that you have going on, whether it's working for somebody else, having your own business, even in a relationship, even coming home, that same, mundane schedule. Can cause somebody to burn out. So it's very, very important, that you're taking breaks, and especially after a failure. You don't want to jump into anything right away after a failure. So it's extremely important that you definitely take a break after a failure. Too much of anything is always cause for a break, like I was saying. So take a vacation, recharge your batteries, do some positive thinking before you step into doing something else. The next thing, and I think this is probably one of the hardest things for everybody, whether it comes down to business, relationships, or whatever the case it may be, but, you have to own your own mistakes. In order to grow, you have to realize what it is that you personally did wrong. How are you going to jump back in the game if you don't know what it is that you did wrong the last time? And you have to realize that you are a part of that failure. And some of that failure was because of you personally. That's extremely, extremely important. You must openly acknowledge that you failed, that you were a part of the failure, and that, these are your own mistakes. Blaming others for your mistakes, of course, is not going to get you anywhere. It's important to recognize our mistakes so that we don't make the same mistakes over and over again. I'm actually going to show you guys a wall that I have here in my office. Anytime somebody comes and meets with me in my office, I always show them this wall. And it's a wall that I actually had done when I first moved in here, and it has just about every single business that I've ever opened. One of them is missing, which is the club that I was telling you guys about, the G Spot. That was the very first club that I opened. I opened that club when I was 24. And it was shut down after the first 3 months. I lost a lot of money behind that spot. But the very first business that you see up here that I opened in 2006 was Building Foundations. And that was pretty much a company that I started. I had bought up a bunch of rental properties when I lived in Nashville, Tennessee. I was renting them out and investing and things of that nature. And then, kind of during the small little recession that we had, back in 2008, 2009, a lot of those people, they couldn't afford to pay their rent. And being that I had so aggressively invested, I found myself having 5 and 6 mortgages to pay at one time. And ended up letting a lot of those properties get foreclosed on and things of that nature. But, I'm still investing in real estate today, so I didn't really let it stop me. 11 years later, but for a while it did. For a while I kind of stepped back and was like, okay, I'm gonna get involved in some other things because apparently I didn't do this right the first time. Right after that, the following year, I started Profitable Productions, which is the company that I used to manage artists under. I managed models, those models right up under their wet dimes. We did a calendar, and I spent a lot of my money with that calendar. That was kind of around that recession time. It wasn't as successful as I thought it was going to be. So, bam, that was really, in my eyes, another failure. Then after that, a couple years later, in 2009, I started KRD Media Group, which published this publication called Caught Up that I distributed all throughout the southeast of the company. That business is what I would say was kind of the last of my failures. That business, when I moved here, it was never extremely financially successful, but when I moved here to Atlanta, I got a little bit too into partying and kind of took my hands off of the business. And the manager He actually ended up stealing the business from me right up under my nose. So there was a lot, that I learned there. But if you look at it, and there's supposed to be 10 businesses on here, it was a lot of things that I did before Party Bus Kings. Party Bus Kings is what I would view as my first successful business. So if you guys look at that, I was in the game for 6 years before I actually had a business that I would view as successful. And so to me, it's a business that's making at least 6 figures. It's profitable. It's not operating in the red or anything like that. And so with Party Bus Kings, there was a lot that I learned, right there with KRD Media Group. I took my hands off of the business too soon and let the manager run it. That's why you guys always see me in Hookah Hideaway and Escobar all the damn time. But anyways, there was a lot to be learned in these other 4 businesses before I actually got to Party Bus Kings. And you guys are very familiar with a lot of the businesses that I've opened since Party Bus Kings. But with each and every business, there's always something to learn each and every time. So just wanted to share that with you guys really quick, just so you guys could, really for yourself that everything that I'm saying is A1 and true, You got to keep moving. So the very last thing is that I was going to touch upon when it comes to turning failures into successes is you have to keep trying. So as you guys see, year after year, I was opening different businesses. If one failed, I was opening up the next one, and it wasn't extremely, right after each other. I took some time to recharge. I took some time to analyze and see what it is that I did wrong. Maybe this isn't a good profitable industry to be in. Maybe I personally need some more growth. Whatever the case it may be, you have to keep trying. That's the only way that you're ever going to be successful. If you quit the first time, how will you ever know, if you can be successful? And if you do quit, you already know that basically, you're putting yourself in a lane for failure. So those are my 5 ways of how to turn failure into successes. We started with the 3 R's, which is reframing, revising, and refocusing. And I went a little deeper into that with my 5 different ways of how to turn failure into successes. So I always put these videos on my website, guys, so that you can always go back and take a look at what it is that I'm saying during these Money Making Monday sessions. And as I said, this Wednesday, we've got my website release event for whoissnoop.com. Before I get out of here, though, of course, I always do a Q&A session with you guys. So if anybody has any questions, in regards to what it is that we went over today, or anything that you guys have seen posted on my page, or anything that I have going on, now is the time. So a couple minutes for a little Q&A. I'm going to scroll back through the conversation and see if anybody has asked any questions while I've been talking. All right, somebody asked about financing for a business, I guess for a startup business. Absolutely, it does take money in order to do that. The first thing, that question is one that requires a lot of detail, but the first thing that you need to do is put together your business plan. And putting together your business plan, you're going to put together a marketing plan as well as a financial plan. You have to have that financial plan in order to even look attractive to investors. So if you are looking for investors, that's one of the things that you want to do. Let's see. So no questions. Anybody got any questions for me? I'm going to get out of here in a minute, y'all. It's Monday. It's been a long day for me. I've been up ever since 9 a.m. Editing, and my day is ending with this Money Making Monday session. So if y'all don't have any questions, y'all can meet me over at Escobar for a drink. I'm out, and I hope to see you guys this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Appreciate it and much love.